my abilities to the fact that I practice the Merkaba even today. I did it every single day for 8 years, and I still do it very frequently, several times a week. It is a field that will stay around your body and amplify who you are at the 5th dimensional level for usually around 48 hours. So even if you don't do it every day, it's still there with you. The book, Beyond the Flower of Life, was reprinted by Bear & Company, the Inner Traditions publisher. And so this book is readily available. And I have plenty of the Merkaba CDs here. So if you still have a CD player at your house, you may pick one up, and it is my gift to you. So I have plenty for everyone here, I think, because I don't think everyone here has them. All right, so how do we get it to hit play? Just click it. Nothing is showing. What's going on? All right.
Handheld thing with that.
Okay, here we go.
Just wait.
So recently I was blessed by one of my students who was a businesswoman who is a businesswoman in Australia owning a factory in China, and she chose to follow her guidance when she was told to tell Maureen to move to Sedona and open her school there. Well, I hadn't really given a lot of thought to having a school, so this was a big surprise. But then they said, and give her a large sum of money. Well, it was large enough to buy a nice car. It wasn't enough to buy a place here, but it got me in the ability to focus. And so when Suzanne held her outdoor event here 2 years ago, I came and thought, you know, I should look at property. And everything fell into place. And I thought I was going to have 2 homes, one in New York and one here. And I was surprised because 2 weeks before I left, I received a message from my guides, take everything you care about because you're not coming back for a long time. Okay, so we're going to start out. This is some of the work that I have done over the years. I'll just leave it at that. Let's talk about the Merkaba Classic. This, everyone knows where their pranic tube is, I hope, in relationship to your spine, but that's a drawing that will help you kind of get your visualization. That was someone's pranic tube exploding. Okay, so this is a 17-breath meditation. So what that's going to do for you is you're going to learn the steps, and we're going to go through it pretty quickly. In the old days, we took 2.5 days to learn this. I'm not going to be teaching you any of the sacred geometry behind it. I'm simply going to be giving you the steps to do it. And if you want to know the sacred geometry behind it, there's plenty of material out there for you to gain that knowledge. I have made the study of sacred geometry one of my specialties, and I am very excited to tell you that I have classes online now that you can download yourself to learn more about the sacred geometry, how you can use sacred geometry to prove manifestation, and so on. So breaths 1 through 6 is very straightforward. It's the hardest part of the whole meditation. You will learn a couple of things. Number 1, there are 2 tetrahedrons you're going to be visualizing. So, Ebony, can you give me a hand here? This is Ebony, my business manager and my beloved husband. Would you grab that one and hold it up? So I want you to look at it and see if you can see 2 tetrahedrons, one above and one below. And I'm going to show you a drawing of what it would look like. When you look at the Sun and Earth tetrahedron, the Sun tetrahedron here, is there a pointer? Yes. So the Sun tetrahedron on both people, man and woman, it still points up, obviously, but a man has 1 point in front and a woman has 2 points in front. And so that's pretty easy to remember if you remember your anatomy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And then on the Earth tetrahedron, you have the woman who has her point in front, like a big boat, and the man has his point facing in the back. Okay, so that's your visual. Now, it's really not easy to get this visual because you're talking about above the head, let's see how you orient it towards a man for a minute, so everybody can see. Turn, there we go. Okay, so the point on him comes down to about where his knees are, and on the earth tetrahedron, it comes to a point in the back behind him, maybe a foot. The important thing to know is that it's the same as your height or your arm length. A lot of people don't know that their length from one hand, hold your arm out, to the other is the same as your height. So when you start looking at these things and you start seeing the geometry, it's amazing. So when you inhale, you're going to see the sun tetrahedron. And when you exhale, you're going to see the earth tetrahedron. And so, come on. And so, this is a simple exercise that I want you to do just for a few seconds. Okay, you can put that down. Inhale, and we're going to count to 5, and exhale, count to 5. And then you're going to hold your breath for 5 seconds. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. We're going to do 3 breaths, inhale, exhale, and hold. Okay, ready? Inhale, seeing the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside the earth tetrahedron and moving like it would flush through a toilet, but it's flushing through the tetrahedron and will exit at the bottom. Okay? So let's do this again, this time being aware of the visuals, and you feel free to look. Inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. And now, before we move on, I want to teach you a method that we call the pulse. And the pulse works like this. You're having your eyes in front of you, look straight out. And if you put your hand in front of you and you put your finger out like this and put your attention on that, so both eyes are converging at this point. And then you're going to use that point to look up as if you could touch the crown chakra and then to the floor. And that pulsing motion is what causes this earth tetrahedron to flush through the body. Now on women, the top of the earth tetrahedron is about where her bra line is. On a man, it's higher, closer to where the nipples are, because men's torsos are longer. Let me restate that. A woman's torso is longer than a man's who has the same height. And if you've ever looked at this, again, this is somebody who's looking at the geometry of it all the time, and you see a man and a woman walking together that are the same height, his legs are longer and her torso waistline is lower. So their waistlines are not in the same place, even though their height is the same. And this, I think, is Mother Nature's way of making sure we have good relationships. Okay. All right, now, you would repeat the same thing for 6 breaths, changing the mudra for each breath. So now we're going to learn one more layer. Now, I want to forewarn you, this is the hardest part of the whole meditation. So you've got a lot of things you're learning, but it's going to be called out for you. I will be calling it out for you. So the mudras are pretty straightforward and very simple. Here we go. First mudra, thumb and first finger. Second mudra, thumb and second finger. Third mudra, thumb and third finger. Fourth mudra, fourth finger and thumb. Fifth mudra, thumb and first finger. Now, what's the difference between breath 5 and breath 1? Visually, nothing. It's only in sequence, like when you toggle on a light switch and you double set it, okay? It's the same one. The only way you'd know that somebody was on breath 5 is if you saw them do breath 4. Breath 6 is the sequence. This is phase 1. This is, again, the most difficult part of the whole Merkaba. Once you get this down, it's a piece of cake. So we're going to practice this. And Ebonine, would you come up and just stand here and just kind of demonstrate what we call it out? Okay, so you're going to put your hands in the first mudra position, and I'm going to do 5 seconds. So it's 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 5 seconds hold. Now some of you might not be used to holding your breath for 5 seconds, but I will tell you that it is a Tibetan longevity exercise, and it will help you stay young. So it's worth your while to learn how to hold your breath. And in the definition that I have earlier, I also say suspend the breath, because what I want you to understand is that the suspension of the breath is literally holding on empty. You're not holding your breath like when you go swimming and you go, no, it's not like that. It's inhale, exhale, and hold. And if you get messed up, don't worry about it. Just jump right back in as best you can. Here we go. Oh yes, this is another thought. Because of this nature of this meditation, you may do this with your eyes open. And I will also tell you that it's a technique. When you leave your eyes open, you are becoming multidimensional, because you're allowing yourself to be anchored here in 3D, as well as anchoring yourself in a higher dimension. We also do this when we open the Akashic records. We require that the person who's opening the records keeps their eyes open to ensure that you're multidimensional. It's good practice. All right, so here we go. Inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up, and allow your eyes to drop to the floor. Pulse. Inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next mudra, thumb and third finger. As you inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next mudra, thumb and fourth finger. As you inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next mudra, thumb and little finger. As you inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next mudra, thumb and first finger. As you inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next mudra, thumb and second finger. As you inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. All right, so take a break from that. Now, we're going to learn the next section, which is much easier. So, must be going backwards here. Okay, phase 2. Phase 2 is pretty straightforward because you only have one mudra to hold, and that's your thumb and first 2 fingers. And you're going to put your attention on a ball in the center of your body, right here at the solar plexus, right around your navel. It's going to expand to the size of your hips, minus any extra baggage you might have added over the years. Okay? And then you're going to let it get bigger, and it gets bigger at breath 8, and reaches full size at the end of breath 8. So it follows the body skeleton, which is in direct proportion to the sacred geometry. Okay, at this point it's full size. And so the next thing you're going to do is put in more prana. So each time prana is coming in from both directions. Now when I first learned this, I had a terrible time imagining that prana was coming in from my crown and from the perineum. But it is. Okay, so imagine it's coming from both directions. If you get stuck on this, do yourself a favor and just see it coming in first from the top and then from the bottom. And over time, get used to doing it together. Just like if you were learning to play the piano, you might play first the right hand part and then the left hand and then put them together. It is not correct to do one and then the other. So the goal here is to do it simultaneously. So once it hits 8, then you're going to make it brighter. And it's kind of like blowing it up. And we call it bright like a full moon. And then it gets bright like a heavy harvest moon. And then on breath 10, it gets so bright, it's like a sun ready to blow out. And you're going to do a special breath when you explode it out. So on the inhale, 10, it's super bright, like a supernova, and you're going to blow out in this way, kind of like throwing a cherry pit. Okay? I don't like to do it in the mic because it's kind of noisy, but you get the idea. You put all your pressure here on your mouth, let your cheeks puff up, and then you push from your diaphragm and your lungs. Now here's another cool little tidbit. When you do this, it opens your throat chakra. So let's say you're in a discussion with someone and you're kind of feeling like, I don't know what I'm going to say, I can't speak, I'm scared. You do this, it'll open your throat chakra and you will be free of that lockdown position. Okay, so let's go through this again. We're just going to start with breath 7, okay? And now, there's one other part that's super easy. It's just inhale 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds. Inhale 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds. So it's super easy at this point. And remember, when we do it, it's going to be called out for you. So it's not like you have to remember all the steps. All you really need to do is remember what those words mean. Sun tetrahedron, earth tetrahedron. Just like if you know how to square dance, they go all the way to the left, and you know what to do with your feet. Okay, so get comfortable. Again, if your feet are crossed, try to do this with your feet uncrossed. It will improve your connection. When we have our feet crossed, it's kind of like when we have our computer running out of power and it's not plugged in. You can plug it back in and power back up. And the same is true with uncrossing, but it takes a few seconds for that energy to work its way back up. So it's nice to have your legs on the floor, your feet on the floor rather. Okay, ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breath 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, breath 9, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, breath 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale with that forced air breath. And remember, if you've never done this, practice with a cherry pit or a spitball and see what you can do. Okay? Forced air breath. Now, at this point, this sphere starts to spin. The sphere is at your solar plexus, and it's gotten bigger. And it starts to spin, but it is unstable. And what that looks like is if you had a stick or an axis in the middle of the sphere, it would be wobbly, okay? It's unstable. So you take 3 more breaths of prana in, which is actually 6 prana boosts. Prana in on the inhale, prana in on the exhale. That's 11. Prana in on the inhale, prana in on the exhale, and so on. So 3 breaths, and that looks like this. So one other thing I want you to notice here, the minute we pop out that breath 10, and you get this large sphere, and this sphere should be about the size of the Vitruvian Man sphere, if you've ever seen that Leonardo da Vinci drawing. And then immediately another sphere appears. So this is something that everybody carries this code in their body. You are not creating it, you are remembering it. And your body knows it. So when you're mentally connecting with the visual and doing the breathing, your body goes, oh, I know this one, and does it. Okay? So now we go into phase 3. Phase 3 is only 1 breath. In phase 3, all you're going to do is move the center of these spheres to your heart chakra. Now, the easy way to remember this is Valentine's Day is February 14th, and on breath 14, you are moving into your heart. Now, the interesting thing is one of the benchmarks of the Merkaba is that it allows you to be so much more loving. In the early years, I would have many men in my classes who were very interested in the sacred geometry, and they were coming because they were so excited about the geometries and the math. A few weeks would go by and I would get a call from the wife saying, can you come back and teach another class? Because I want to learn what he learned. I have never seen this kind of change in my husband, and I want what he's got too. Isn't that cool? So this is something that you can do every day. It takes 5 minutes to do, and it will change who you are and will allow you to operate at your most evolved self. Okay, so breath 14, all you're doing is mentally visualizing that the center of this ball that's here in your solar plexus is now here. Okay? Now, what I also want to point out is when we do this, we're going to change to another mudra. This is the last mudra. And this mudra has multiple choices. The original mudra that Drumbalo taught was with your hands nested and thumbs touching. You can have your right hand on top or your left hand on top. It won't matter, it's the same. And then a alternate mudra is this one where your fingers are nested inside each other. Okay? Now it's very important if you do this one that you allow yourself to see, it's not with your fingers sticking out here, and it's not with your fingers sticking out in this way. Okay. So try this mudra on, and I'll demonstrate. So like this, or this, or this. If you like your fingers nested, you will need to curl your fingers, like when you play the piano. If you're not used to curling your fingers in, it will be difficult for you to do. One of the things that I discovered is that when we have our left hand on top, in this drawing, wherever it is, here we go, it's usually the way men hold this mudra. And when we put our right hand on top, it's usually the way women hold. Well, it turns out that when we do this, there is a beam of light that comes directly from the palm of the hand. In female orientation, gives you a male energy, and in the male orientation, it gives you a female energy. Because to be fair, most women need a little more male, and most men need a little more female. Okay, and then the final one, which is also a lovely choice, comes in time. So my recommendation is, if, when you do this mudra, do what feels comfortable. Some days you'll have one hand on top, and other days you might have your other hand on top. And some days you will naturally move into this open-fingered position as an alternate. So on breath 14, you are allowing the center of the spheres to move to your heart. You still have an access point back here on your hips where the tetrahedrons were. So we're going to show what that looks like next, I think. Okay, so this is called phase 4. Now phase 4 is very important because there are a number of elements here that you need to do in sequence. So on breath 14, you'll notice that we've moved the spheres to the heart. Okay, and you can see clearly that there's 2 spheres. So now we've moved from survival to unconditional love. Then you and I don't have to think to be compassionate. We just are. So as you breathe out through breath 10, you can see you allow your cheeks to puff up and let your diaphragm and lungs do the pushing, and that will open up your throat and your 5th chakra. This creates the new sphere. Okay. Now, for some reason, I have this twice. Now, the last 3 breaths are all about intention. And this is because you and I cannot tell with our mind or with our eyes what's really happening. So, first thing I want to do is, this is like a little bit like sex education, in that when you start working with the star tetrahedron, we're now going to tell you there's 3 of them. We don't tell you that in the beginning because it's way too confusing. So we're going to spin 1 whole star tetrahedron to the left. That's the male. We're going to spin 1 whole star tetrahedron to the right. That's the female. And the 3rd one remains stationary. And that's literally the physical body. The one spinning to the left is the mental body. The one spinning to the right is the emotional body. Now again, there's a lot more information behind this that I can give you in classes, but we are not bothering with that right now. We're learning how to do it, and later you can find out why it works. Okay, here we go. So the physical body, star tetrahedron, remains stationary. The mental body, star tetrahedron, spins to the left, and the emotional body, star tetrahedron, spins to the right. When I call it out, I simply say, breath 14, move to your heart. Breath 15, equal speed. That's when you send the 2 that are moving in opposite directions, moving at equal speed. That's like starting your motor. That's like putting your standard gear car in neutral, starting it up and leaving it in neutral. When we do the actual breaths, breath 16, you're going to say 34-21 in your thought. That starts the spinning of the mental body, 34 revolutions to 21 revolutions to the right. Now, what's interesting is there is logic behind this. But before I tell you that, I want you to see what it might look like. So if you could see them spinning, and you cannot, because when it spins at equal speed, it automatically jumps to 1/3 the speed of light. In my travels, I visited the particle beam accelerator in Ithaca, New York, and I asked the man who gave me the tour, how fast do the particles move? And he said, well, when they first start up, an electron moving with around its proton is moving. If it escapes outside of its normal field, it moves at 1/3 the speed of light. And I thought, aha, that's the same speed that this moves at when you first turn it on. Now, after we create a ratio of 34:21, and I'm going to explain that in just a second, it does this. And we're going to look at this. Hopefully, it'll show you. Oh, it didn't spin. What's going on? Here we go. So that helps you see, if you could visualize it, and remember, it's moving 1/3 the speed of light, our eyes will not register that. So it's really kind of an imaginary thing of these two star tetrahedrons moving in opposite directions on the same axis. Then we're going to create a ratio. And the ratio is important to understand, and we're going to go to that shortly. All right, so now what happens is we have the counter-rotating field that gets started to produce a flattened energy. Just like if you've been in a rotor, you remember those old machines at the amusement park where you would get in it and it would spin and everybody would like slide in a certain direction? Well, the star tetrahedron, this shape here, flattens and gets bigger. Okay? And I have no explanation for why the colors are slightly different, so please ignore that. It's all the same. This part is centered around the hips, and the balls are centered around the heart. So you have two equators. And this drawing helps you see this. This is starting to look like something you may have seen in the sky. 3421 produces this broader field. Now, at this point, and this is the critical point, 3421 creates a wobble again. Now, if you've ever driven a car that has a right rear spring that's broken or a left rear spring that's broken, that car will list as you drive to get it fixed. When I was much younger, my 20-something-year-old brother came to get the car I was giving him, and in the week between when I told him he could have it and the time that he got it, the right rear spring broke. And so he didn't want to get it fixed in New York City because he thought it would be too expensive, so he drove it 8 hours back home. I, of course, told him not to do this, but when you're in your 20s and a guy, you do stuff like this. And his friend who brought him to New York, and then the two of them drove back, he said that when the car got going faster at the freeway speed limit, its wobble reduced. That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to make this thing spin faster. You're going to make it spin as fast as it can in this reality, which is 9/10 the speed of light. And guess how fast an electron moves around a proton in an atom? 9/10 the speed of light. You are setting your Merkaba to here so you can travel to there. The important thing to understand is your Merkaba allows you to travel there because you're anchored here. It's a little bit like when you go into the mall and you want to go to a store you've never been to before. You have to know where you are to get to there. So there's a really powerful thing. You're elevating yourself to be able to move around, and at the same time, you are using a code that anchors you to here. So I want to talk a little bit about the codes. So the codes give you three things. Equal speed is movement. That means life exists and things are moving. The ratio of 3421 is directly related to a, take a look at this again. Okay, so the ratio is directly related to a series called the Fibonacci sequence. And some of you may be familiar with this, but if you start looking at this, you can see a pattern. 1 and 0 are 1, 1 and 1 are 2, 2 and 1 are 3, 3 and 2 are 5, 5 and 3 are 8, and so on, all the way down this line. This Fibonacci sequence would go on forever. The higher up you go, the closer you get to the golden mean, or phi. And I have a whole series of teachings on why phi is source code for life. And I'm not sure how we're doing time-wise, but I don't think there's time in this session to actually explain why phi is source code for life, but you'll have to take my word for it. What I can tell you is that everywhere you look, you can find the golden mean. And it doesn't take much to do that. You can see it in the length from the top of your head to your chin. It will mark your third eye. You can see it in the length of your hand to your elbow. That's also in phi. When we say in phi, what we mean is that the relationship is 1 to 1.618. All right, so now we're looking at this ratio, and we selected 34:21. So that ratio of 34:21 is a very important part of this meditation because it's anchoring you to where you are. Now, those of you who know the golden mean out several digits know that it goes 1.618 and further on out. And so here we are at 1.619 when we divide 21 into 34. Why is it 1.619? Why are we doing it here? And I believe the answer has to do with the fact that we are not in 3D, we're slightly above 3D. And energetically, this is more accurate of where we are. But that's not where we're going. So then we look at the same code again, and we go up to 89 divided by 55, which does give you 1.68, the perfected phi ratio, so to speak. And that's the code you will use to activate the 8D Merkaba. Now, this is the cool thing. Some of you have heard of the platonic solids. Can you come up again, Evan? And this is something that I explored. You know how you kind of follow yourself down the rabbit hole. So I have two of the platonic solids here. This is a icosahedron. You can tell it's a icosahedron because it's got the triangles, and yet it makes a spherical type shape. And Abanayan is holding the dodecahedron. And the dodecahedron has a pentagon as its face, a 5-sided shape. Well, I discovered that you could build an Icasa dodecahedron by putting 60-some crosses in phi and putting them together. And that's what this is. Now this one I can pass around because it's homemade and you can still see some glue strings hanging on it. But you'll notice that there are all these crosses that are in phi. And it's useful to look at it because it helps you internalize what does phi look like. What's an amazing thing about phi is that it actually is more appealing to humans when we look at a carpet that's made in phi or the human face that's phi. And if you can take 100 people, you will find phi in the face, in the arms, in their legs, their body, their bones, even the DNA. Now DNA is measured in angstroms, and an angstrom is 1/10 billionth of a meter. And we can still find 34 to 21 angstroms in the relationship between the spirals of the DNA spiral. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the basic 17 breath Merkaba, and then we are going to simply announce the remaining activation of the adjacent pairs, 89, 55, and it's super simple. So you're going to be aware of the icosahedron and the dodecahedron that are now in one unit, but spinning in contrast to each other. So the first code is equal speed. The second code is 8955, and the third code is activate. Now this is kind of fun because what you're doing is telling this field to take off at the speed it's supposed to be at, which we don't know what it is. Now, here's why this is important, and this is really critical. When we do the 17 breath classic Merkaba, that last code is 9/10 the speed of light. Now I want to take you back to another slide and show you, here we go, show you, the last 3 breaths are your activation steps. So on breath 15, you're turning it on, that's equal speed. Breath 16, you're telling the field to spin a certain way. That is setting the ratio. That creates in the reality. That's how we evolve, okay? So this is the ratio, and then breath 17 is sending the speed to the fastest speed we know that we can create at this time, okay? This is all science will give us, 9/10 the speed of light. Then when we jump to equal speed, 8955, we then activate with intention. And this brings us to this drawing. So here we are with the classic Merkaba. The fastest speed we can go is 9/10 the speed of light. This is because when we go faster towards the speed of light, mass becomes so heavy it does not cross the speed of light. This is physics. However, when we do the 8D Merkaba, we are pushing through that speed of light and coming on the other side in a higher dimension. Kind of like when you see on the, what does this say? I can't read it, sorry, there's so many lights here. 10 minutes, okay, good, perfect. Kind of like when you look at Star Wars movies or something, and they say we're gonna jump. We're gonna jump through space into something else. They go through a wormhole. So it's like that. And we don't know what that is, but we can tell it to activate and it'll go where we want it to go. So that's your barrier that we have with the classic Merkaba, and this is the 8D Merkaba. So I'm gonna call it out for you now. We are going to do the whole thing. Do your best to stay with it and have fun. Don't get too excited about it. If you miss a step or you find yourself you can't breathe, just relax, unhook, and then jump in when you feel like you can. Kind of like when you're singing a song and you forgot the words, you come back in when you know it. And what I'm going to do is attempt to put the pictures where they match. And so it is. So put both feet flat on the floor, and maybe you would run the pictures for me. That would be easier. Just scroll back to the very beginning. This mouse trackpad doesn't work. Here we go. Okay, so take a deep. I'm just doing it for you. So just take a couple of nice, deep, easy breaths in and out. In and out. And in and out. Okay, so begin. I'm holding on. Don't hold your breath, just hold on. Okay. We're not going to show you the mudras because we figure you got that ready. So when we get to the mudras, just skip over them if you would. Okay, so mudra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty easy. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, ready? Begin. Inhale, see the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and second finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and third finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and third finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and little finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and first finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and second finger as you inhale. See the sun tetrahedron around your body filled with light. Exhale, earth tetrahedron, see it around your body filled with light. Hold your breath, seeing the earth tetrahedron and negativity collecting inside of it. Eyes in and up. Pulse. Next, move your thumb and first two fingers. See the prana coming in, center of your body, filling a small sphere inside your navel. Exhale, continue to see that prana, continue to enlarge that sphere. Inhale, breath 8, bring more prana in. Exhale, breath 8, it's reaching full size, the size of your hips. Inhale, breath 9, you are supercharging, it's getting bright like a full moon. Exhale, continue to see more prana coming into this sphere. It's bright like a heavy harvest moon. Inhale, breath 10. It's so bright, it's like a sun ready to explode out. Blow out with the forced air breath. Do this now. Inhale, breath 11. Stabilizing your spheres. Exhale, continue to see more prana coming in, stabilizing your spheres. Inhale, breath 12, stabilizing your spheres. Exhale, continue to see more prana coming in, stabilizing your spheres. Inhale, breath 13, stabilizing your spheres. Exhale, continue to see more prana coming in, stabilizing your spheres. Inhale, breath 14, change mudras. Allow the center of your spheres to move to your heart. And allow your breathing to become a little more shallow and a little more comfortable. The next set of breaths you can do in any form, any count you wish, so don't worry about it if you're a few seconds ahead or behind. So breath 15, inhale, equal speed. Allow the tetrahedrons to take off, spinning in opposite directions, and blow out with a forced air breath like breath 10. Breath 16, inhale, 34 to the left, 21 to the right. Blow out with a forced air breath. Do this now. Breath 16, inhale, 9/10 the speed of light. Blow out with a forced air breath. Do this now. Now put your attention on the icosahedron and the dodecahedron, knowing that they are going to spin in opposite directions, but every time they cross each other, they produce that phi ratio. Inhale, equal speed, blow out with a forced air breath. Do that now. Inhale, 89 to the left, 55 to the right. Blow out with a forced air breath. Do that now. Last breath, activate. Blow out with a forced air breath. Do that now. You have now activated your 8D Merkaba. You will tell the difference. We have been testing this for a couple of years, and I am always amazed at the stories people give me. I hope to hear from you as well. Thank you so very much.
Please subscribe, like, and make comments, and support this channel by becoming a member. Thank you for your continued support.